PTC Beyond isn't just a conference, it's a gathering where the seasoned pioneers of technology will join forces with the rising stars. What's our mission? To inspire the next wave of digital pioneers. We're not just talking tech, we're talking about shaping the future.
Hello and welcome to PTC's Digging into the Future podcast. I'm João Lima, editor of the Tech Capital, and joining me today are two special guests who will be sharing their experiences within the digital infrastructure sector, as well as sharing their thoughts on the PTC Beyond initiative. They are Stacie Pascale, Vice President for Product for Aqua Comms, and Marcello Brescia, Head of OTT and Edge Ecosystem for HGC Global Communications. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Talking about PTC Beyond, so you guys have been part of this from the beginning, almost the beginning, correct me if I'm wrong. But I was going to ask, so first, could you explain to our listeners what is the PTC Beyond initiative? And then how does it foster community and engagement within younger professionals in our space?
Yeah, I think that the best way to describe what it is to describe how it started. And really the way it started is, 2 years ago, PTC really came to folks around my generation in the conference and said, hey, we want to bring you guys forward at the conference. This is a very executive level conference, right? A lot of CEOs and C-suite folks come here. And so they said, we want to open it up to the incoming generations to come and be a part and create some thought diversity between the different ages and folks that participate here, which is great because at the time I had been going to conferences, all year, and I look around and I don't see anyone like me. There's no one even remotely in my age range is what it felt like. So I was super excited to be a part of it. You mentioned earlier that some incoming generations are starting to join Telecom more and more. I think that's because there's a lot of intentional work like this around creating space for younger generations to get a foothold and be a part of the conversation. So PTC Beyond was started to create just that. And it's a program here at PTC where we basically reach out to businesses and encourage them to send people that are under 35 or the first 5 years, into their discipline in their business to come and learn about the telecommunications ecosystem, to come to all these events we have set up throughout the entire week, roundtables with CEOs, challenges for people that took part in the PTC Academy, all kinds of great happy hours and events, and an entire lounge this year with panels and discussions that explore the difference in the generations that we have here. So that's really what it is. This is the second year it's been running. I guess this is just the second year, so we've got some new and exciting stuff going on, but that's the gist of it.
And there's so much more coming, I'm sure, because again, it does not stop innovating this sector.
Yeah.
But you're both out of a masterclass, a PTC masterclass, PTC Beyond masterclass just before this interview. Speaking of initiatives like this, Marcello, so what would you say are the most important initiatives within the PTC Beyond environment that help foster community collective and collaboration within younger professionals?
Yeah, well, I think the class, first of all, is a great way to learn from seasoned, experienced executive about different views on the industry and also different subjects. So it's not only super technical or going only for profit. It's also, we had today a session about your career ladder. So it's very inspiring. But I would say, and also there are a lot of initiatives, like there is a reception, I think there is a cruise as well, and other kind of activities. I think the PTC Beyond is just a catalyst of what is the sense which you cannot see of PTC, because it's such an event where you have very senior leaders in our industry. And I still remember the first time I came here, I was 26 years old. It was 2019, so it's some years ago.
Decades ago.
Yeah, so many years ago.
The way you make it sound.
When I was young, yeah. So it's incredible because you see how easy it is to get in front of these senior leaders in a way which is not only the formal meeting room, and it's all about being open-minded when you are still so young, and really it gives you the perspective of this industry in the upcoming years. And compared to the first time I think I had experience like Stacy, because you don't see people that are my age, so it's a bit like you don't feel comfortable in the first instance, but then after a while you will familiarize with all the people, and here we have great people that have been running this event for years. And so they make everyone comfortable among the events.
So moving on to the industry, what would you say, so beyond PTC Beyond, what excites you about digital infrastructure today? Because there's this whole AI thing going on, so I'm sure that's very exciting for both your businesses. But what excites you about digital infrastructure, and how do you stay updated with everything that's happening across all continents?
I think, as you mentioned, it's an industry that changes fast because the technologies that rely on the networks and all the infrastructure, digital infrastructure that we talk about here, change very fast, and so we need to adapt to meet the requirements of the customers all the way to the eyeballs, right? Whoever consumes, like for example, content and so on.
And Stacy?
Yeah, I think similar story for me specifically from the submarine perspective. When I think about the future of digital infrastructure, it's that subsea will never go away. It's always going to be something that we absolutely have to have. And the long-term perspective on it is the thing that excites me the most. Like, it'll always be here. We can work on this stuff for decades to come. Just seeing all of the different technological advances that are impacting the networks, it makes me, excited to see what's happening next. And there's so many different phases that subsea has gone through. So what's the next 5 years and 10 years going to hold? It's just really exciting to think about. And the way that I stay updated on things, honestly, is conferences. And there's all kinds of news things that go out and say, this person partnered with this person, et cetera. But I feel like when you come to a conference like PTC and the other ones that happen throughout the year, is when you really get to see the people in the other businesses, understand what's really going on in their companies, how they're feeling about what's going on in their companies, and really gain a perspective on what's actually happening in those news updates. So conferences are a big place that I get my info.
Final thoughts on the future of the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think from my perspective, even when I have folks on my team that are from Generation Z, I'm surprised by how different they are. And it's such a close generation really to us, but when you work with them, it is almost like different worlds. So I think just being conscious of that and those differences. And the beauty of telecommunications is that we do have so many different things you can do. Like you were saying earlier, there's a career path for everyone in this industry, no matter what your discipline is or your skills. So I think that as we, advance through the industry, all of us can recognize that if someone's not a good fit for one role, it doesn't mean telecom's not for them.
Yes,
try
correct.
them out
I
somewhere
agree.
else.
Yeah.
Just make sure that we're putting that mentorship in place so they can stay and find something meaningful in the industry.
And there's a lot of opportunities to find your own path in this sector. I think that's another important thing. You mentioned trust, and trust is a big thing, especially with younger people. You need to be shown the ropes and be allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's the best way to
everyone
learn.
makes mistakes. Even CEO makes mistakes. It's not that you
it's
are
what you do with it.
Yes,
and
exactly.
what you learn from it.
The difference is how respond to that and how you train these young people to respond in a way that it's effective regardless of the mistake.
Marcello Brescia, Stacie Pascale, thank you so much for talking to us. As we are home, thank you for watching or listening to PTC's Digging into the Future podcasts. Until next time, thank you.